Okay, so what do we have here? So on this one, so this one will just be having a quick automation. So the whole of this one is the search console automation, whereby you can be able to get your sites. Let's zoom and then see what you have. Yeah, so you can be able to get your site data. This one you can either add new sites, get new sites and all that. This one you can do the URL inspection, and this one you can do the sitemap data. So let's just make this a bit h1. Yeah, perfect. Then you can save. And now the final automation is now what we have on this one, and now this is what I'll just be guiding you through for now. So for this one we have 3 steps. One, we have our schedule. We'll just be taking our post on a schedule. Next we have the function. We want to get the site data, so this one we want to filter based on the query. For this one we need to do the filtering based on the page, and now for this one we need to do the filtering based on the date. So if we are to run this one, we'll be able to get our new data. So this is the document that you're going to be opening, and on this document, this is what you need to go. You need to go to pages. We have the queries, and also we have our dates. So that is it. So but now that is not the so that is what you can do. You can either export the queries, so you can have the dates. So this is the performance based on a date. Then you can have performance based on the query, and also you can have based on the page. So let's dive to this one. So the main setup for this one just requires you to, one, define your schedule. How often do you want to run this one? So you can either one day, this one you can just change to this one, but preferably this one can take a couple of days. Let's say each day, that's when you can maybe read your data. Also you can have 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, or maybe a month. So depending on how you want to activate this one. Then now the next one will be this part here, whereby we'll just be having a post query to our URL endpoint, and then once we run this one, we can be able to get the results that we want. So this is not the part whereby I think a few of most maybe can get stuck in terms of, let's say this one is a search domain, this is a domain property. So what will happen if maybe I have a URL property? So I want to get, maybe this is my domain. So what if maybe my property was, let's just copy this one, I won't type this one. So let's just assume this is now your property, and then you want to be able to get the data for this one. So if you do this, you'll get 404, maybe you'll just get an invalid, but we can also be able to use this one. So I'll just copy this one. So if you have a domain property, just have the search console domain. You can now have this one as the variable part, the domain, and then if maybe you run this one, let's see what you get on this one. We will be able to get our top results. So these are the results that we have, and if we decide to do our split, this is what we'll have. Let's see, yeah, you can be able to see this is our data, so it'll just be setting this one. So but now in the case whereby we have what do we call it, when we have a URL property, and that is what we wanted to get. So what we can do, we can just come and construct a quick link. So what I want us to do, I want us maybe to replicate this one. So I want us now to play around with this URL. So now this is our property URL, and we want now maybe to do this. So the first step you'll do, you'll need to encode your URL. So and how do we do this? So the easiest way is always just using the n8n syntax. This is what we'll have. Then we can just do the URL. Let's see the function. The function should be URL encode. So always be sure to check the typos, since this one is a bit specific. So if you do this, now this is what you'll be able to get. You can see the structure for this one is quite different from this one, and then what we'll just do, we'll just cut and then come and replace this one here. So that's all you need to do. So if we are to run this one, we'll get some results. Let's remove the extra spacing. So the user does not have, yeah, as you can see on this one. So since we are using the service account, so for this one, let's change this one to use the Google Auth. So this one, I've already logged this one into this account, and then let's see what we'll get once we run this one. So now this is the main difference between the auth account and the service account here. So if we run this one with the auth, we are able to get the results. And then let's test this one. So what will happen if maybe you decide to send your URL without maybe deciding to do this, and maybe you just decided, you know what, let me just send my URL the same way it is without any kind of encoding. So you will find that you will get an error in this one. This one should give you some kind of an error. Yeah, this is what you'll be having. So anytime maybe you want to do the property, just do the encoding. And I've shown you a nice trick for doing this one. However, you can just come and construct your URL on the same canvas that you are. So this one will just do the HTTP blah blah blah. So this one you just come and copy that. So you can just construct this one within a few seconds. This can take, yeah. Then just dot URL and code. And remember, this one is a bit specific to the typos. So if you do an encode here, that won't work. So just be sure to do the right thing on this one. Yeah, so that is it. So this one can have any variables. I had just intended this one to be used for just a single domain. So that is why I think the search console domain property. This one should be small. Yeah, so the main intention had been to have this one run just as for one domain, but if maybe you want to have variable domains, I'll show you just a quick trick on this one. So the trick that you can use is, let's just zoom out. That one had an error. I think we can just revisit. And now this is the router that you need to have, whereby if maybe you have the HTTPS or maybe the the URLs, just pass this one via this one. You can just encode if maybe it's just a URL, but if it's a domain property, just add the search console domain, and that is done. So I think this is something that you can maybe try to add on this one. So yeah, that is it. Maybe let's see the issue with this one. The issue with this one, I think, was here, the search console. Yeah, we had a bit of a typo on this one, but I think now this one should resolve the issue and you can have the fixed, and then you can get a result. So I'll just be doing a quick video on how we can now be able to set up our credentials on this one, since I know a lot of people maybe might be getting issues with doing the credentials. Yeah, so bye bye and see you in the next video.